Hello everybody, this is Crazyman. It's been a while, hasn't it? I've not done one of these episodes in a long time. It feels like even longer because the last one of these I did was me showing off my amazing redstone skills. Ha ha ha, didn't it go so well? And I probably will do one of those next time I do one of these, whenever that will be. Who knows? Anyway. Today, we are at the island because I kind of want to finish it, really. That's why we're at the island. That is why we are at the island. So what's happened? A lot has happened. First of all, the most important thing I think we should mention first, and that is and by we I mean Accidental Games, have, thanks to you guys, and by you guys I mean people listening and watching, possibly at home, we have reached, thanks to you guys, 64 subscribers, which it's amazing. That sounds really insincere when I listen to it, but I do mean it. I'm just not very good at sort of not silly stuff. Sensibleness is... I'm not good at that sort of stuff. Yes, we hit 64 shortly after the Race to the Dragon video stuff was released, which was brilliant fun as well. And I think there was one other channel there that was under 100 subs that did recordings, because some people there just didn't record at all. But yes, no, we were like the second smallest channel there, and it was extremely fun to play, and yes, and then we hit 64 subs, and we haven't had a chance to record a 64 sub special yet, but it is planned, and we will do it as soon as we can, hopefully soon. But yes, thank you all very much for subscribing. It sounds really... I don't know how to say thank you for subscribing without it in my head at least. Ah! Like I was saying, as professional as I am, I don't really know how to say out loud thank you very much for subscribing without it in my head sounding sort of really insincere and stuff. But I do mean it. It's very nice. It's wonderful. And it's one of those weird things where you sort of see a channel and you think, oh, they've got like 100 and something subs. That's not that many. But let's see. But whatever. And then you go to sort of your sort of subscribers and you go, oh my god, now we're on 64. It's incredible. That's so many. Yeah. I do have torches. Good. But torch down. Yeah, it's one of those weird things. Anyway, the Race to the Dragon thing, that was also brilliant fun. Episode 3's been released by now? Maybe episode 4? I'm not sure. But yes, no, that was also great fun. And I'm not going to say anything more about that because I don't want to give away any spoilers. Well, that was a bit of a conversation ender. Huh. Anyway, on another thing to say, Sparks has purchased me a filter. That's right, a filter. Which means you won't get as much when I speak. I'm slightly worried that it's going to affect my singing though, because I was messing around with it earlier and I don't know, If I sing a song, you'll see what I mean. You won't see what I mean, you'll hear what I mean. Okay. This is what the hell is wrong with this game? I swear I keep getting weird little glitches like that more and more. Anyway, the song that I will sing, I think it's in public domain, so we should be fine there. But if not, then this, for legal reasons, is a form of parody. Anyway. Lollip, lollip, ooh la 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 lollip. Boom 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 lollip, lollip, ooh la 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 lollip. Boom 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 boom. And that's a bit too low. Anyway, you may have heard the issue there with the filter. So, hang on a second, I'm just going to grab some wonderful little smooth stone, and we'll be able to continue. Okay, I've grabbed some more smooth stone. Oh, I remembered what I was going to say. To do with Race to the Dragon. Yes, it was very fun playing with other people. And many of those other people, you know, okay, that's a bit better. Anyway, many of those other people were American. And this is important because me and Sparks are not American. And, well, Sparks is Swiss. But we live in England, despite Sparks being Swiss. And people often assume, and when I say people, I mean both British people and American people, mostly. And as well as other people, probably. But people often assume that because England and America speak the same language, more or less, that there are no differences between the two cultures, which isn't the case. There are some quite large differences between the two. For one thing that I've noticed, or seems to be the case when talking, not just to American YouTube people, or the people we've met via YouTube who live in America, but also on the odd occasion when I've met other Americans. Yes, some of them do exist in England. Bum, bum, bum. What I've noticed in those sort of very rare situations is that a question that sort of, well, I'm not going to say often asked, but a question that's sort of asked in America, which is not asked sort of in England. It's sort of, it's not really a question that you do ask. It's sort of like asking a lady how much she weighs. It's one of those sorts of questions. It's a bit of a no-no, but doesn't mean that it is never asked, because sometimes you need to ask these things if, say, you're a doctor, or wondering if they've got fatter. No, it's one of those things that you just occasionally... It's one of those things you do need to ask occasionally, but it's in general not really acceptable in England. Well, I say not acceptable, it sounds like a... It's one of those things which just isn't really asked in England because it's seen as a bit rude, whereas in America I think it's a bit more sort of normal to ask. And that question is, how much do you earn? Now, I don't particularly care if people know how much I earn or not, but it is, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one, and I think I sort of mentioned in conversation, well actually no, I've mentioned here on this thing, I think that I've mentioned that I don't currently have a job, so I don't really earn anything. In fact, I don't earn anything, but I know Sparks has a proper job. Well, I say proper. He has a job. Glitchy game. And I remember he sort of mentioned that he was a bit I want to say taken aback that it was sort of asked. I mean, not in a bad way, but it's sort of just, I'd say me and Sparks are both quite accepting of strange cultures, be they American or other cultures. And so I'm not going to say offended, but it's sort of a bit of a, I wasn't really expecting that question, but okay. And it's one of those weird things that, I don't know, just one of those things where Americans have weird ways of doing things. Like they say math instead of maths, which is obviously the correct way of saying it because there's always more than one thing to do in maths. Or maybe they'll say something silly like herb instead of herbs because they don't know that there's an H in it or something like that. Or they don't know how to pronounce the letter H. I don't know. I honestly don't know why they say herbs. It's weird. If you say herbs, you're weird. Weird isn't a bad thing though. Weird's often good. Some people make a YouTube career out of it. Or at least YouTube videos out of it. Anyway, the point I was getting at, it's been completely lost to me. What was I saying? Oh yes, the other thing I was going to say. And there are some words that are different, such as the maths v maths, or herbs v herbs, or I don't know, sidewalk and pavement. It doesn't really matter. But the one that is probably the biggest one that you probably should know if you ever plan on visiting sunny old England is the word fag. Because in America, fag is a derogatory term for a homosexual. And it's occasionally used that way here as well. However, its original usage of the word in this country is for a cigarette. For example, if me and Sparks smoked, and say during recording we wanted to stop and I don't know, have a break and go and smoke a cigarette, we'd probably say, well, let's just stop for a fag break. Now, in America, or any Americans watching, they are probably laughing and potentially drawing pictures of weird things. But going for a fag break is quite a common use word. Well, not really word, is it? Phrase. It's quite a common phrase in Britain in general. So if you sort of go to England and someone says, yeah, just popping outside for a fag, they mean they're going to have a cigarette. They don't mean that they are going to bum a random homosexual that's sort of sitting around outside waiting for them. Another expression, which is, well, I don't know, it may be used in America, but in England, I don't really know how to define it. It's kind of stealing with permission, almost, potentially from strangers. Say you needed a light for your cigarette or fag. You would bum a light off someone, which is an expression of basically, amongst all these smokers, one of them is bound to have a lighter of some sort that they won't mind me borrowing. And occasionally there'll be people who have forgotten their cigarettes for whatever reason, and they'll bum a cigarette off a friend, or bum a fag off a friend. Which, yeah, just something to keep in mind if particularly if you're a smoker and American and you decide to go to England and you're sort of outside, or even if you're not, but let's just say you're outside sort of smoking away, going, this is the life, slowly filling my lungs with deadly poisons, or whatever it is you say. I don't know, I don't smoke, I'm sort of assuming this is what people do when they smoke. And a bloke comes up to you, or a lady, but let's just say a bloke because it works better in the example, and says, "Alright mate, do you mind if I bum a fag off you?" He isn't inviting you to some weird sexual thing. No, he is asking for a cigarette. Boom. Now. Okay, cool. We'll keep going. We still have more time, which is good. We always like more time. This episode was so much better thought out in my head, and then I start recording and I see pretty shiny, glowy lava and I get distracted. There are, of course, other cultural differences where Americans say things weird, like leisure instead of leisure, or other things, but I think that's they're the two main differences. Although whilst I think of it, at what point in history did someone confuse the phrase hold the fort with hold down the fort? And how on earth did hold down the fort stick? Anyway, that is not important, even if you're saying it wrong. This episode has probably been extremely boring, hasn't it? I mean, we're not over yet. What are we in? Yeah, we're sort of 15-20 minutes in. We'll go for another sort of 5 to 10 minutes. But this has been extremely boring to do. What do people think of this episode? Have you liked this episode? Have you liked this episode more than me doing something a bit more constructive? I don't really know where to go with these episodes. Should I go down the route of these are my sort of talk to you guys episodes? I think that's probably where they're gonna head, unless everyone here is sort of thinking, no, I don't like this, what is he doing? I've just wasted 20 odd minutes of my life watching him place and replace lava buckets. Oh, actually, that's a point. We've had a lot of subscribers since I was last here. Well, I say a lot. I mean, we've sort of doubled our subscribers since I was last here. A lot is sort of relative, depending on the person. A lot of you don't know what... Some of you, I'm going to say, some of you probably don't know what this is. This is my island base, because it is beautiful, and if you've seen the redstone video that I did, which was incredible, might I add. I am so good at redstone. So good, I'm sort of scared to do it again, that people might sort of not be able to cope with the even more redstone-y stuff that I'm gonna do. Although I have figured out a lot of the things that I did ask about at the end of that video, which is nice. And I will do another one of those redstone-y things soon. But yes, this is my island base. As I shift over the edge, as you can see, that was where I initially set up that little bit of glowing light over there. And this is a massive ocean biome which I decided to build an island in. I specifically wanted ocean because I didn't want mobs spawning underneath, and while I could have lit it up, they tend to hide there for shade, and I also wanted the depth of water so I could just jump off. And pretty much as soon as I had found this place and set it up, like got that little island down there sorted, an update came along which meant you could fall from any height into a single depth of water and you would be fine. So I could have pretty much put it anywhere, and I may have done if that was the case, but I'd sort of already started. And if you're wondering where I am really far out. Look at that. 21,500 blocks in 2 directions. Our spawn is at 0, 0. So yeah, this is why Sparks complains when he comes over, because it's a long way to go. Also, he says I don't think it's that long. Well, I've talked at you now for quite a while. I hope you people have enjoyed it. I guess thank you for watching. Even more so if you didn't enjoy it, because that means you love me enough to sit through this without even enjoying the video that you're watching, but you're watching it to support me in some way, shape or form or something. You've listened to me ramble on and on about America and England and their differences and stuff. And you've watched me pick up and replace this single piece of lava. Yeah, we've had a good time. And you've seen me walk into lava about 3 or 4 times as well. Although I didn't then, because I'm getting better at this. Mwahaha! You know, when I first started this island, I had so many ideas for it, and I have forgotten all of them. Actually, that's not true. I still remember some of them. But what I'm going to ask all you lovely people who are watching, I'm going to ask you one little question, and then I'm going to end it. The video. I'm not going to sort of just jump and kill myself. No, I am going to end the video after I've asked you this question. This very important question of what do you think the first thing I should do to my island should... Do you think the first thing on my... Island. Needs stuff. What stuff first? I don't do words. I'm not the word person. Sparks is the word person. Probably. I'm the numbers person. I give you numbers. But I have to communicate with words, which is a massive flaw of this whole system. So please, people, tell me what you think I should put here first. Be it sort of... Well, I have like a fair bit of food here. It's not an unlimited amount. I'm going to dismantle the stuff below this island, which you can't currently see, and move all the boxes up here. So then it's basically just setting up my base here. Yeah. Which would basically be a proper oven system, a storage system, a brewing system, a food thing, I mean, I don't really desperately need any of these things instantly, which is kind of why I'm asking you guys what I should do first. And so yeah, that is what I'm asking you to do. Leave a comment if you want to. You don't have to. Don't feel obliged. It isn't necessary. Okay, fine. No, it's fine. You don't have to. No, forget it. Completely forget. No, I didn't say anything. But if you want to, you can. About what you think I should do here first. And I will read those comments. And I may reply to those comments on the comment thing. Or I may reply to them in the next video I do. Or they're gonna say something weird like just hi, and I'm not gonna know what to say to that, and then I'll sort of just stare at the comment for hours and hours, wondering what on earth I'm supposed to say in reply to that comment, and then not actually leave a reply. So yeah, that will all be fun and brilliant. So go do that, or don't. Either's fine. Do one or the other. I'll take any comments that you leave that are in regards to what I should do with this thing next, and I will try and do those things next. And by the way, off camera, well, potentially off camera. I say off camera because I was going to do this off camera and then I forgot. Off camera, I'm going to fill in this layer that I'm sort of, well, this bit where it's one up is all going to be stone, and then there's going to be 2 layers of dirt, and then that layer is also good, well, grass. And that's what's going to happen, definitely. And I've been trying to end this video for the last sort of 10 to 15 minutes now, so I am actually going to end it here and say, no, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to say goodbye. Bye.